Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Wolfie, not wasting any time getting the episode started. So let's not waste any time getting out of the hidey hole. What is up? What is up with the increased creeper activity? Creeper. No, that didn't work. I was looking for a way to mix increased and creeper, and it was a failure. A failure of a word mixture. But we are... Where's the sun? Okay, that's east. We need to go west, so we shall hop in a boat and thread the needle between these two creepers. Very unusual. Not really unusual at all. That's what happens when the nighttime cometh. The rain has parted. Didn't the last episode end with rain? And check out this amazing landscape we are heading towards. Oh, what? Wolf is gonna spawn? Yep, okay. This amazing... There's a waterfall on the other side. It's just a big, giant thing. It's a thing! I would normally take the boat around that side. Oh, wow! The whole place is rendering in front of us, and it's amazing. God, there's zombies. And... Wow, oh, careful, Wolfie. Wow! Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 terrain generation, everybody. Check it out. It's amazing. Totally awesome. You just don't get this stuff anymore. I mean, I know there's the... What's the setting in Minecraft nowadays? It's the extreme or enhanced or whatever terrain setting. But then that just seems forced. This is just happening accidentally. I want to... Hold on, I want to kind of explore this a little bit, but I'm distracted. It is episode 322 of Far Lands or Bust. Today is Monday, February 3rd. February 3rd, 2014. And we are getting distracted right now, but we are continuing to walk to the Far Lands in a general westward direction. Checking out this cool stuff, as I mentioned in, hi Wolfie, in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Oh, there's another little waterfall underneath it. This is the last version of Minecraft to include the proper Far Land. Oh, wow, that's pretty incredible. Wolfie agrees. So that's why we haven't updated since this, and that's why we still get to have these nostalgic little crazy terrain happenstances that we don't quite get in the current versions of the game. It's a little bit more structured, the terrain generation. It's still technically random, and it just spawns in front of you, but it's more structured now that they've included like specific biomes that have certain rules and a little bit more... less of this floaty stuff, which you could argue is a bit unrealistic, and I think that's the reason they got rid of it. Whatever math went into accidentally creating floating islands, they said, nah, maybe we should get rid of those. But it's genuinely old school Minecraft when you come across stuff like this. And no, these are not the Far Lands or what the Far Lands, well, kind of, sort of what the Far Lands look like, but much more pronounced and dramatic and sudden. This is just some cool... Careful, Wolfie! Wolf! Yeah, get out of the... just wherever you were taking damage over there. There he is. You noob! Wolf! Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hi. No? You don't want a bone? Hi. There you go. That's what I thought. This is very cool. And of course, the music. I like that thing. That's awesome. And there's a tree on top. Of course there's a tree on top. There might be some pigs on top for all we know as well. Neat. Neat is what I have to say. Neat. How am I on coal? Doing okay on coal. Although, I don't know that I should really pass up some freebies like I see on here in the basin, I guess. Right? Is it called a basin? The stripped out land. There we go, that'll do. That'll do. And a random, oh, okay, yeah, that, oh, what? Whoa. How, why is that gravel suspended like that? That should not be. Have a seat, Wolfie. We are investigating. Science. I mean, this block fell. Not that block, this block. But its brother did not. That's... Huh. Very interesting why that happened. I don't know. Magically floating gravel. Boop. Oh, unless, yeah, that block must have been underneath. So that block fell, but this block was technically being suspended by this block for a split second, so it just stayed there, maybe? Science! Theories and estimations is what you could call that, I suppose. But we gotta continue on. We can't linger for too long. Gotta make some sort of progress today. Speaking of progress, haha, segue. Speaking of progress, we have raised a few $100 more since the last episode. We are at $169,518 raised for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. And we are still on track for a March 1st Saturday Flobathon live stream, where at the end of which I will finally press F3. That is something I know. There are some articles and blog postings still going around, some fallout, if you will, from the New Yorker article, who they say, oh, it's taken him 3 years and he's traveled 700 kilometers. True, but that 700 kilometers was over a year ago. That was August of 2012. When I pressed F3 last, and that's when we were at 699,492 was our Z coordinate, which is the coordinate that is we are adding to as we head west. Oh god, that scared me. Why did that scare me so much? You are a freaky sheep, man. I just saw your head rise over the horizon. I thought it was a player. I always confuse sheep for players. I've been playing too much on the Play Mindcrack server with the guys. I'm like, I'm jittery. I'm expecting to get lambasted by other players. But yeah, that was over a year ago, so when we press F3 in a little bit less than a month, we will have a much larger and more updated number, and all those articles will have to be rewritten. New articles, new publicity for Farlands or Bust. We'll have to update the distance we've traveled. It has to be over 1 million blocks, meaning over 1,000 kilometers. What is that? What happens after kilo? Deco? A decometer. Deco. Art Deco. I think that's right, isn't it? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, so we'll have to update that. Like I said, that'll happen on the 1st. We'll do some walking. I'm not sure for how long the live stream will be, but at the end of which we will press F3 live on the air. So hopefully you guys can join. I will also, obviously, as I have in the past, I will upload the F3 moment, and hopefully everything goes well. I'll be able to just upload the entire live stream event as an archive here on YouTube for those who might miss it or those who might wish to watch in the future. And got all these cactuses out of the way. We have a very dumb wolf walking behind us, so we'll just plant it right into it. So yeah, very cool stuff. See, now we have a stark contrast to the to the very radical floating islands and things. We have this very gentle, a bit more realistic looking sand dune hill here thing with a patch of pumpkins, a protuberance of pumpkins hanging out right here. Very cool. And then it looks like some more pretty cool stuff happening up front, out west. Oh, a lot of cacti. And spooky noises. How will we do this? Hey, Wolfie. Take it easy. Cow is perched precariously. Stop jumping, Wolfie. Hurt yourself. Indeed. Okay, well, we got properly distracted by that terrain over there, so we're into the second day already here. All right, this is going to be Speaking of threading the needle, Wolfie, 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 just come this way. I'm going to want to get away from these cactuses at night because he likes to roam around. Yes, yes, this'll do, this'll do. Yeah, right over here. Be a good place for an elevated hidey hole. Yeah, we'll get away from the cacti. Indeed. Let us do this. And the reason, it's quicker to do the elevated hidey hole, but I have tested this method as a proper respawnable hidey hole. I tested it in another world where if I were to die in the next day, I would respawn on this block. That's why I put the torch on the side. If I put the torch here, it might not act as a spawn point. So let's go to sleep. And awakeness, and hopefully we won't need to use this as a spawn pointness, right, Wolfie? You already barked. So, continuing on, and I do have some Minecraft news. Minecraft this morning has officially sold 14 million copies of Minecraft for the PC and Mac. This version that I'm playing right, well, not this version, but you know, the PC Mac version of Minecraft officially sold 14 million copies. And it was just a little bit over a month and a half ago that passed 13 million. So still, after all this time, doing quite well. You know, you know, I think Brian Morgan 111 mentioned how, you know, a lot of sales came early on, like myself. I purchased in the alpha for much less than it currently is. And we're all just grandfathered in perpetually. And Brian Lorgon 111 was like, oh, that's right, when Notch was at the last Flobathon, he was just in the Skype chat, or the Twitch chat, and I had Brian on as a guest, and he was asking Notch, like, do you have any plans for further, you know, monetization of Minecraft for all these people who have already purchased? And Notch was like, no, and rightly so. They're obviously still with just the PC version, not to mention the Xbox and now the PS3. Is it the PS3 or the PS4? PS3. The PS3 version is now. Ooh, I developed quite the lisp there when I was. Whoa, floating tree, floating tree. It's the floating tree of 14 million copies of Minecraft soldness. Yeah, he was asking, he's like, I've just purchased multiple copies of Minecraft that I'm not using just because I appreciate the game so much and I want to keep supporting Mojang, but there's no additional way for me to give them money. But Notch is pretty comfortable with the current platforms. There's also the mobile platform. The i app, what is it called? The iOS, and there's an Android version too, isn't there? I could be mistaken. Yeah, there is just the mobile platforms of Minecraft, but also the Xbox and the PlayStation. But of course the main version, the PC Mac versions are still the strongest, obviously. So. And of course, now Mojang is venturing out into different games, and of course, there's also now, I suppose a little bit of a monetization platform is the whole, what's it called? I have a thing here from the last Minecon. Oh god, Realms, Minecraft Realms, where the kind of built-in server hosting of Minecraft is, I suppose they're getting a bit of that as well. So. Well done, Mojang, for putting together. Oh, that's some nice terrain that we kind of passed by. But we will never see it because it just happened to be a few hundred blocks to the north. Oh well, we have to enjoy this scenery instead. But yeah, that was that's all I have for Minecraft news. I just saw that as some headlines on the blogs and whatnot. So 14 million copies of Minecraft sold. Indeed. So continuing on in this version of Minecraft, Yeah, I really don't... One of the problems I had before, despite my sniffly nose, before starting this episode is I really don't have anything to talk about. Yesterday was the Superb Owl, and I didn't really watch that, so whoopity-doo. Ooh, look at all these animals. Yeah, party. These guys just got done with their Superb Owl party. Wolfie, oh, there he is. He's enjoying all the animals. He's like, can we get going? These guys are annoying me. Yep, we can get going. Woof. Yep, that's what he said. But yeah, I don't have that much to talk about. Whew, that was a scary jump. Yeah, I mean, I've been getting some questions. Ooh, that might be a bad way to go. Let's soften our fall with some liquid water. Oh, I suppose, hi. Something, I mean, not really, whoa, new news, but there have been an increase in commercials and trailers and videos for the new Cosmos series. Of course, I don't want to call it a reboot, and I don't think they're really calling it a reboot either, but a continuation of the classic Carl Sagan science series. Wolfie, where you at? There you are. Little zombies. That's a spawner. Indeed it is. But yeah, I remember it got delayed, and then we were all very disappointed. It got delayed, but it like snuck up on us. It's coming March 6th, I believe, is the premiere. It's on Fox, and it's kind of a renewal of the Cosmos series, obviously with Neil deGrasse Tyson as the host, and it's being produced by Seth MacFarlane, who, surprising, you know, that's the Family guy, but a big fan and supporter of Carl Sagan and the science, and friends with a lot of the, obviously, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Andrienne, how do you say her last name? I can never get it right. But Carl Sagan's wife, Woof, who was also involved with the original series, is back on board, and looking forward to that. I'm very interested in seeing. Unfortunately, they removed the original series from Netflix recently. I think somebody uploaded every episode to YouTube of, you know, it's of dubious legality that they did that, but they did. So, but yeah, I think the story behind that is, oh, it was on PBS, isn't it like a public thing? They can't remove it from Netflix. True, but I believe they sold the rights to the video release, at the time VHS, but you know, the DVD release to an actual, was it Sony? Something? It might have been Sony, I could be wrong, but they now own the rights. So I'm assuming, watch it, Wolfie, I'm assuming it was removed from Netflix because now, obviously, with the new series, there's going to be a renewed interest in the old series, so they're probably trying to bank on that. Hooray! Hooray for big media. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the politics or the exact the way the copyright of that works and stuff like that, so don't quote me on that. But unfortunately, yeah, I wanted to start watching it again on Netflix, but the series was removed from Netflix. But, you know, I would recommend everybody check out the original series. It's been updated a few times with a few, you know, pre-rolls that kind of tell you the update. Oh, since this has all happened, but it's still, you know, this is the science behind what Carl Sagan was talking about, and that's, you know, you think that happened by accident. No, he did that on purpose. He knows things are going to change in the future, but the science and the things he discussed are all still very relevant. And now this new updated series, I'm very much looking forward to. Ooh, watch it, Wolfie. Where are you going to spawn? Yep. I say that because I know he is going to spawn in at least one deep water. And oftentimes we've accidentally run into him and got him stuck in the boat, and that damages both him and us. So we avoid doing that. Yep, see, there he is. One block of water. He spawned. What else? What else? What else was I talking about? Oh, the Cosmos thing. So yeah, that's happening March 6th, I think, is the date that they've been saying. So if you're very interested in seeing the new stuff they add to that, but also what if they, you know, rekindle a lot of the topics that Carl Sagan talked about in about the history of science. And, you know, that's what Cosmos was really about, was kind of the history of the progression of science. And then, you know, each episode had a different topic and they brought it up to speed and talking about the current stuff and then the future. So very cool. Very much looking forward to that. I don't look forward to that much TV, if any at all, but that's back. And I believe Top Gear is back as well, but not having cable, I am unable to watch that. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, unless I resort to other means, I say. Under the table. Shh. Keep cool, guys. Keep cool. So, yeah, the few shows that I will actually watch. So, looking forward to that. Look at me, I actually did have things to talk about. Sort of. Although this third day is going to be a little bit slim pickings. Beep, bop, boop. There we go. Woof. I know, hold on. We're gonna just sleep through the night and we will continue, as I say, in the morning. And, oh, there's some wolves back there, Ness, that I missed. Meh, oh well. Right, continuing on. Happy cow. Indeed. How about that thing people are talking about? I mean, I have some old questions that I never got around to answering. And if you do donate, or if you ask questions in the comments, and I don't answer the question, don't worry, it's nothing personal. I've either already answered that recently, or perhaps it's a question I don't have an answer to, or I just don't feel like I have enough of an answer to make an entire thing out of it. I might get to it again in the future, so do not feel bad. Hello, what's going on here? Oh, nothing much. We had a little bit of a cave-in, but it's alright. Yeah, indeed. Whoops, whoops, whoops. You don't really get this sort of terrain either. This kind of broken up island-ish stuff in the current version of the game. In 1.8, when they changed the terrain and inadvertently removed the far lands, they introduced oceans, and I think oceans were way over exuberant. Look at all those sheep. How am I on wool? I don't think I need that much wool, guys, so you can continue being sheeped. But yeah, then oceans were pretty gigantic and endless, and you would have an island like that once every 5,000 blocks or whatever. And then in the current version, they kind of removed the giant oceans, the current as in 1.7 current, the full release 1.7, and they're working on 1.8 right now. And then they removed that, and I don't know, I haven't explored too much. Dry throat. I haven't explored that much of the current terrain generation to know how oceans behave. So maybe these kind of smattering of little lakey type stuff is back or not. Who knows? Who knows? Well, a lot of people know, just not me. I do not know. Madness. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, that's my wool. Sorry. You should have stayed with the protection of your friends back there who were all having a party. A superb owl party. Yeah, it was a not so superb owl yesterday, was it? And that's the reason I don't like football. I don't feel like don't they only play like 20 games an entire season? And there's like 36 teams? And I know there's different divisions, but that just simply does not feel like there is enough time to determine who are the two best teams that should be playing against each other. On the flip side, baseball, American baseball, there are too many games, and it just, you know, halfway through the season, it seems monotonous, and it's a pretty clear who is the best and the worst, and it's too much. It's kind of, I've likened it to the difference between Formula One, how there's only, well, I don't know what there currently is, but at least in the season, 2013 season, me and Beef are playing, there's only 19 races, and only the top 10 get points. It doesn't seem like there's enough time or enough variety, and the races aren't long enough to determine who's the best. Compare that to the NASCAR series, where you race every track at least twice, and there's 42 people, racers racing, and each of the races is like a 4-hour ordeal of 500 miles, and you know, you compare that more to the baseball season as well, and it's like, all right, now everything, we're getting a little bit out of hand. We need some sort of balance here, and then they switch it up with and this year, that's another thing in NASCAR. Probably not that many people watch NASCAR. I used to quite a bit up until about the 2004s when they switched over to the Sprint Cup or whatever, and then they changed the whole point system where then the last 10 races, only the top 10 people are in the chase for the race or the face or whatever it's called. And it just lost its appeal, and then they changed the cars to the car of tomorrow, and now they've kind of pulled back from that and are back to the car of yesterday. I don't know how it's working anymore, but I just read I saw a headline that they switched it up again, where now it's the top 19 racers are in the chase, and they said, well, if they had been going by this point system last year, then Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have won, and it's just kind of, there's no consistency, man. There's no consistency, and it's just, it's difficult to keep up. These are the things Kurt talks about when he has nothing to talk about. Oh, man. Sports. I don't know that much about them. Brother. That's a shame. But we have fun. Video games. The only way I know about sports is through the video games based on them. Let's make another boat here. I guess we can make a few extra meters here. Ooh, I'm alright on some wooden planks, but maybe I should consider them. Boop. Boop. Onward, Wolfie. We must continue killing time for another half a day here, talking about stuff. Did things. That was another thing people appreciated. I saw in the articles, and there were some podcasts who mentioned that they liked how I talk about science and spacey things, and not Kevin Spacey, but outer spacey things and things like that. So I try to keep up with that sort of stuff. Oh, there, space news. The Chinese lander, the lunar lander, and its rover was the Jade Rabbit, the U2, or the YUTU, I'm not sure how to say that, rover. Unfortunately, they had a problem with the rover. Those of you who might be aware, on the moon, it's tidally locked, and the moon orbits the Earth about once a month. So each day on the moon, sunrise, sunset, is about 2 weeks long. So they put the rover, because it's solar powered, into a hibernate for those 2 weeks. Unfortunately, before the current moon sunset on the moon, the rover wasn't complying with the commands from Earth telling it to get into hibernate mode. It basically positions itself with the horizon so that the solar panels catch the sunlight on the next sunrise, and then kind of powers down to to be able to withstand the cold and whatnot. It didn't follow those orders, so it didn't get into that ideal position for the next sunrise on the moon, and they feel like the rover is going to be dead on the next sunrise, which I'm not sure when it's happening. I just saw I was driving last night, and it is just past new moon, so I'm assuming they positioned the rovers and things on the Earth side facing in order to communicate. So sunrise is coming, so I guess we'll find out. But it's been pretty well established and accepted that they have perhaps indeed lost the lunar rover. The lander should be fine, and it still does a little bit of science and transmits, but the main... I guess it wasn't the main. I suppose the most mobile platform was obviously the rover, so that's unfortunate. But that's the sort of things that happen. That's kind of also what happened to the Spirit rover. Of course, it lasted, the Spirit and Opportunity rovers on Mars I'm speaking of, they were only slated to last 90 days, and Opportunity is still going. It just recently had its 10-year anniversary on Mars. The Spirit rover kind of got stuck in some sand, and they tried to free it, and it was kind of a standalone platform and was able to do some science even though it was stuck. But then when the Martian winter was approaching for that area of Mars, it was unable, because of that, to get into its ideal winter setup for the sun angle at that degree, and it eventually, the heaters couldn't then keep the components functioning, and it lost contact, and that was deemed the end of the Spirit rover. So similar things, especially when you're dealing with a solar-powered rover, which is something the Curiosity rover is not solar-powered. It is nuclear-powered, which it will have a definite end date where it will stop receiving power from its nuclear power source, and there's nothing else that can be done beyond that. So space! Science! Wolfie! Woof! We did it. Indeed. We made it. We did it. We made it to the end of the episode, and we were only mildly out of things to talk about. We survived, everybody. Good job. A job well done. Keep up the good work. Let's block ourselves off here. Oh, hi. Hi. How are you? Yeah, nice to meet you. I am not sure about your reasons for joining me in the hidey hole, but I suppose we have a little guest. See, Minecraft knows what to do. It's like, uh-oh, Kurt doesn't have things to talk about. This is going to be going down in history as a pretty boring episode of Our Lands Are Bust. Suddenly, chicken! I'm not a fan of you in here, but I guess we'll have to deal with you. I don't think it'll cause any problems. Except you're in my way. Yeah, just hang out on there. The beds here. Are you a spy? Oh, he looked up when I said that. Suspects. You'd consult Paul Soares Jr. as to the trustworthiness of this chicken. Let's make a boat for the next episode. Let's do that. You know what? I feel like I should. Yep. This guy. I should make you a little bit of your own space. Yeah. Go in there. No. I need to make it too deep. Yeah, that's where you want to be. Hey, guy. Just go down. No, don't push me down there, you noodle. Yeah, you. What's wrong? It's so nice down there. Yeah. Oh, no. Go down. What? Get. Yay. All right, there. Have some lights. And, have something to eat, I guess. They don't eat anything in this version of the game, but, anyway, I'm a little bit scared that will act as a strange spawn thing, so You wanted to be an underground chicken, so that is what you have become. Enjoy your time down there, and thank you very much for watching this episode of Farlands or Bust. Sorry, a little bit scatterbrain there, but it's an interesting ending. Meanwhile, everything in the world is spawning outside because I've been taking too long in the dark, but keep going to Farlands or Bust to keep giving to Child's Play charity. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.